arrived. Let's go ahead and get this thing installed. So as you can see, the kit comes with everything you will need to install and is very well packed. So the first thing we need to do is choose a spot to set this up. And one option is behind this fence, so you can't see it from the road. I can remove some of the stone here. We'll make a nice spot so that it can turn around and go. Or we can do the same thing on this front area and kind of have it positioned here because we have power that we can reach on either side of the fence. So we're gonna kind of unbox everything and get it into a position where we think it will do well and go from there. All right, so we picked this spot back here behind the fence, and that way it is out of view from the road. You can set the RTK up here, and then if we do need to, we can attach it up higher on the house if we don't get a good signal from here. But I think this is a good place to start. That way we can make a quick turn right out to the front yard. So we will go ahead and start getting everything plugged in. So with all the larger trees that we had around the area, we opted to put the RTK sensor up there on the old chimney, and that has worked out great. And now we have the Luba station here. We want to make sure before we get all the rock and everything put around it that everything works. And so you can see this morning Luba has already started its job on the front yard, and it is doing really good. It's definitely higher grass than we normally would have because we were waiting for this to arrive, but as you can see, it is doing a really good job. And that was kind of something I was always concerned about with the robotic mowers, was that I do like having a striped lawn, and a lot of the other mowers would always do random patterns. But as you can see, still got this strip to come back and do, but it's cutting everything really good for as tall as it was. So I just wanted to do a quick update on our new Luba mower. After its first initial cut of the front yard, I am extremely happy with the cut quality and how quick it was able to perform. Setup was super easy. I'll probably go over all that type of stuff in a future video once we kind of get to know it a little bit better and see if we have any problems that pop up. But so far it's been performing really well, and it's just super nice because this morning we had to mow up at the shop, and while we were doing that, our yard at home was getting cut, and it was done pretty awesome job. So we'll go ahead and follow it around. So right now we have it on kind of a high cutting detail mode where it'll just run a few laps in the yard. But one thing I did want to show was even up here around the trees and stuff, it did get really close to all of that. Just a few little spots that we'll have to weed whack, which is no problem. But what we ended up doing is left all the trees and the telephone pole in the map of the mower, rather than putting no boundary around them. We just left them there, and what it does is it'll use those sensors on the front along with the front bumper to acknowledge where those obstacles are, and then from there it will work its way around those. But right now this is just doing the perimeter cut for the entire yard, and then it'll continue to make passes both this direction and then 90 degrees. So double cut to make it super clean. So we had looked at the option for a robotic mower in the past, and the issue we kept coming up was that you had to lay a boundary wire, which is fine if your yard is all in one spot, but we do have some section on the other side of the driveway. And so for this, the other styles to be able to cross, you'd have to cut a wire into the asphalt and move it through that way. So what we're actually able to do now is, once it's done cutting on this side, we can actually create a virtual path across, and then it will do about 3 or 4 passes down on this side of the driveway. But yeah, super happy with how clean the cut is. Got to blow all of this out. This was from the last time we mowed with our bigger mower, but you can see it is making its way around the perimeter. One thing that I wanted to show you guys on this is how clean of a cut this is. A lot of the other robotic lawnmowers would just do random patterns and stuff like that. This is nice because you can actually set it up to either run straight across, and then you can also make adjustments at every 10 degrees, so you could get some patterns in there, do some crisscross, or change it up every week. And it's actually a lot more efficient when it's running straight strips back and forth rather than going randomly. It is able to cut your lawn a lot faster. But yeah, so far super happy. As you can see, it's making its way down the perimeter and just kind of cleaning everything up. But yeah, super cool. Sensors on it are really good for being able to determine when there's trees or the telephone poles. We didn't do any of the no-go zones on those, so this is it's first time out, kind of just cleaning up the edges. But yeah, I would say the biggest reason for us purchasing this is not that mowing our lawn took that much time, but we keep a lot of our mowers and trailer and all of that at our shop, and to drive 15 minutes to grab it, a couple minutes loading it, 20 minutes to mow here and back, it adds up to about 2 hours a week. And now we're able to completely eliminate that with the help of Luba. So it's been super cool to see how quick this was to set up. Over here is the base station. We may move this at some point. Right now we have it set up here. We can put the stone back around all of this. And then what we did for the RTK unit was we moved it up onto the chimney, and that way it is getting the best signal that it can. But right through this back area between the front and backyard, we've got a little passage. We did have drainage here, so we kind of filled that in so that it has a good spot to turn around. But yeah, as you can see, it is doing its thing, and we no longer have to worry about mowing the yard. And so we can actually move on to different things. We didn't really get it so that we could just sit down and not do anything. But for instance, yesterday we were mulching this bed and it was mowing the yard behind us. So it's kind of an opportunity to get two things done at once. And we've been super happy with the first setup. Getting the RTK in the right spot with as many trees as we have was a little bit difficult because you don't really understand all the angles until you have it all set up on your phone. But I'll definitely go into some more videos on how this guy is doing once we get a few more days with him, and we'll see how it works. But yeah, other than that, first impressions, super excited. Can't wait to see what else we can do, and who knows, I'm sure the technology on these is only going to get better, and maybe one day I won't be mowing at the shop and we can have a few of these running around up there as well. So I will keep you guys posted, but we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye. And when Luba is finished, it makes its way all the way back to its charging station and backed right in. And that's kind of why we filled in this area, make it a little bit easier. We'll end up getting some grass seed here, kind of cleaning all of this up for it. And then you can see right on the back, those two gold pieces go right there into the charger, and it just lines itself back up and charges. So if it's in the middle of a longer cut and needs to come back to charge, it'll do that on its own prior to finishing the job. But yeah, just like that, it is back home and charging.